After the break of the protective dam, the water level in the Ural River exceeded 11 meters. Many areas of Orsk and Orenburg are flooded. A federal emergency has been introduced in the Orenburg region and mass evacuation of residents is being carried out.
I've lived here all my life. This is the first time such a flood has occurred here. The last flood was in 1993 and it was much more minor. The water was only knee-deep in the yard, that's it. Like this, it had never happened before. I don't remember such a sin.
In recent days, the Russian authorities have only talked about the fact that the situation is gradually stabilizing. However, based on the evacuation announced by the mayor of Orenburg, it is not. No one is going to take responsibility for the dam break in Orsk either. Officials are shifting the blame onto each other. Fantastic theories are also being invented that the dam was allegedly not by beavers.
That dam they are talking about in Orsk is not really a dam. A dam is not worth 1 billion rubles. 10 kilometers. The dam could withstand a load of about 5.5 meters of water. In fact, we got 10 meters. With tremendous speed, a huge mass of water passed not on a dam, but on the eastern rampart. Irek Fayzulin, Minister for Construction and Housing of Russia, from a publication by Meduza. It is a system that is in no way connected with the population, does not report to the population, is a sin to itself, and these officials, roughly speaking, report only to each other. Accordingly, they successfully steal all the money that is allocated for infrastructure matters, and the population has the problems that it has.
Since there is no sensitive way for help from local authorities, residents themselves unite into groups to solve pressing problems. For example, to protect abandoned houses from looters. According to the Telegram channel We Can Explain, Orenburg residents create people squads and patrol the streets that have sunk underwater using boats and taking photos of strangers. Also at their own expense, residents of the village of Kuybyshev, Orenburg region, built a dam to protect their homes from flooding.
We have a classic situation here, where this government, completely divorced from reality, is somewhere in its own little world, engaged in some of its own idiotic affairs, engaged in external aggression, wars and the destruction of its soldiers, and the murder of civilians in the territory of foreign countries. At the same time, everything is already close to infrastructural collapse on the territory of its own country.
In addition to infrastructure problems, dam failure and flooding pose a threat to the environment and human health. After all, as a result of the flood, diseases can spread.
The region is southern. Microbes will develop quickly in warmer water. The flood has opened up a lot of infection centers, all of kinds, and scattered all the contents. Large floods can flood and disturb the colonies of some plague carriers, for example. They are in the south, and these poor animals will spread to new lands, changing the risk of these dangerous diseases.
It became known that a dam in Orsk had broken on April the 5th. In the most flooded areas, they began to evacuate residents. The oil refinery located in Orsk stopped working. Already on April the 9th, water from the Orsk dam began to flood Orenburg. According to the current time publication, almost 12,000 residential buildings and at least 15,000 household plots were flooded in the region. More than 10,000 people were forced to leave their homes. Damage to the infrastructure of the Orenburg region exceeds 40 billion rubles. Reported by Diana Kolesnik, Nikita Skoblikov, UATV News.